Coming up, guys, I'm going to do a video on creating my very first fragrance. Stay tuned, coming up next. Hello everybody, this is Joel the Nose, and today I'm going to release a very special video. As you can see, my little chemistry table, some people have referred to it as looking like a meth lab, but I promise this is not Breaking Bad. This is not a meth lab. I'm not trying to blow anything up here. I don't want to do that because this is an extra bedroom here in my house that I've converted into my perfumer's lab. One of my earlier videos a few weeks ago, I talked about how I wanted to start tinkering and creating my own fragrances because this is all part of an exploration of my creativity. For me, photography, artwork, music, painting, all of this is all interrelated with perfumery, which is to me like the penultimate of all of this artistic experience. And I wanted to start creating my own fragrances, not only for the purposes of creating artistically something that I would like, but also because I want to train my nose. And there's nothing better to train your nose for reviewing other fragrances and learning more about this craft than, buying fragrances and oil, not fragrances, but buying the raw materials and oils and really learning these true smells, and so that I can pick them up as I smell their fragrances and review other things. So, just to give you a brief highlight, I'm not going to go through the entire process that I did, which was yesterday, to make this, but I will do that in one of my upcoming videos. I want to kind of show the process, and once I learn it a little bit more, I want to give a video which is really simple for anyone who wants to try this on their own, for those of you who are curious and maybe wanting to create your own. Because it really is pretty easy, but it's easy to create something, it's not easy to create something good. And so, anyways, what I started out by watching videos online, I read a lot of books, as I mentioned, and I think I'll try to link some of those down below in the video here of things that I've used as resources. But after I kind of researched this for the last couple of months on how I wanted to do this, what I did was I got the basic materials. So, what are the basic materials you need to start creating a fragrance? It's actually very simple. You need to pick your, let's first start out with the raw materials. You need to, sorry guys, you need to figure out what you want your scent to smell like. There's templates out there. You can actually buy what are called essentially base accords, where they create almost accords for you, which are 2 or 3 or more mixed raw materials to create an accord or a note, like in a musical harmony. I wanted to do my own, so I picked, I know what I like. For example, right now, Vetiver is one of my favorite fragrances or raw materials in a fragrance or a cologne or a perfume. So what I did was I have 11 different essential oils here right now. And I have essentially 5 base materials that I bought. And one of them is a Musk synthetic. One is a synthetic, benzoine synthetic, ISOE super, and then actually a vetiver, this is an all-natural vetiver. Then for my mid or heart notes, I have a sweet basil from France. That's all natural. I have a Frangipani oil, which is plumeria. For those of you who may not know what Frangipani is, I love the smell of that. That's also an all natural. And then I have a Hedione, which is a Jasmine synthetic. Finally, for my top notes right now, I have an apple essence, which is an all-natural. I have a bergamot oil, which is an all-natural. And an all-natural black pepper from India. So, I didn't use everything, although I used the majority of these for my first fragrance. And what I did was, I kind of decided that I wanted to just, start out making small samples because I don't want to be wasteful and the first stuff you make is not going to be great, guys, so don't worry about that. It's all about trial and error. It's like the first time maybe you try to do photography or do a painting. It is a process. So what I did was, from Perfumer's Apprentice, the website, I bought basically almost all of this. I bought these are 15 ml dark green bottles, and I'm making 10 ml samples. So what that means is 2 mLs or grams, because an ml is the same as a gram, so if you're converting or confused. So you can say 10 grams or 10 mLs. I'm just going to use mLs. 2 mLs of the actual fragrance or the raw materials, and 8 mLs of the perfumer's alcohol. Okay? That's right there. That's 200 proof. You can't use denatured. It has to be at least around 200 proof. And I got this from creatingperfume.com. It was great. It came within like a week. And I have, you can see here, this is a large, I don't even know, this is like a gallon. So my sample is consisting again of 2 mLs of the raw materials, and I didn't get super technical. You can see here, I don't have a ton of measuring devices. I didn't want to do all that yet. I'm a little bit more by the gut. I'm a little bit more artistic than I am scientific, although I like to have a good combination of both. So from reading a lot online and reading a lot of books, measuring by drops is a very good way to do it, especially when you're starting out. So what I have here also from Perfumer's Apprentice, I bought about 100 of these plastic pipettes. And as you can see, that is a pipette. They're disposable because otherwise, if you use a glass pipette to mix your materials, you have to wash it out in between each material that you dip your pipette in with alcohol. Otherwise, it contaminates and you ruin everything. And these are not cheap to buy these things. So I know it's a little bit wasteful. I'm going to try to figure out a better way in the future to kind of deal with this. But right now, I'm using disposable pipettes to prevent cross-contamination. And these, by the way, are the used ones. I have them all right in here. And I'm going to figure out a way to, I don't know, use them for something. So, to get 2 mLs of material, or of raw material of the oils, that is 64 drops. So it's very easy. You take the pipette, you put it in, for example, this is what's called animalide, which is the Musk synthetic. You literally just put it in, take the top off, put it in, draw up a little bit into the pipette, draw a little of the liquid in, and for my base, because just to let you know, my base for my fragrance consisted of vetiver, benzoin, which is a vanilla substitute or synthetic, animalide, which is the musk synthetic, and isoe super. So what I did is, for example, the one I just showed you, the musk, the animalide, I used 6 drops in my base. So my base consisted of 12 drops of vetiver, 9 of benzoin, 6 of musk, the animalide, which I just showed you, so I had 6 drops of that in. And by the way, what I did is you just start dropping them into your glass bottle. So I start dropping one by one. Now what I did first also, just to make sure I liked the smell, I first dropped my base, and you start with your most dominant note. So my dominant note in my fragrance is vetiver, this first creation. It has the most drops, so I dropped that first here, and then I mixed, and then I would drop one more of each, and I'd kind of go along and smell to make sure I didn't hate it and that was a terrible mismatch. And otherwise, if you go right into your bottle and don't test it first on a blotter or scent strip, you're potentially wasting a lot of material, and again, this stuff is not cheap. So that's what I recommend is, just drop one drop at a time, gives you an idea. So that's what I did. All right, so I did again 12 drops of vetiver, 9 of benzoin, 6 of the musk animalide, and 8 of the isosuper. That gives me a total of 35 drops in my base. Put them in. Then next I go to my heart notes, my mid notes. And again, each time, so each of those 4 base substances, I used a different dropper, so I didn't cross-contaminate. And again, you can see my droppers here that I used. Just to let you know, they all look pretty neutral, except for this is the Vetiver. And the Vetiver is super strong and dark. The Vetiver oil. Next, I went to my mid or my heart notes, and this had a total of 14 drops total. And what I did was the Hedione, which is the Jasmine, I did 6 drops. I did 4 drops of Basil and 4 drops of Frangipani, the Plumeria. So total 14 drops there. And then my last, I went to my top, and again, I mixed them on the, first I made sure that I liked the smell on a strip, and then boom, they go right in here with the base notes. So you start with the base, it's very important. Start with the base, then you add your heart notes or your mid notes, then you go to your top. And my top is a total of 16 drops, and I did 8 bergamot, 5 black pepper, 3 apple. Again, for each of those 3, a separate pipette, disposable. Tested it first on the strip. Boom, make sure I like it, make sure it wasn't totally horrible or offensive, and then into the bottle. Then I mixed it all up and smelled it. It was very strong. I'll say this. When I first put it that way, I was not loving the smell because I think I overdid the Vetiver. And I do think on my next formulation or reformulation, I'm already doing reformulations, guys, I will pull down the Vetiver. I love Vetiver, but I think, as you can see by that really dark, it's really intense. You can still smell it now. It's really strong. I think that my fragrance is too heavy on the Vetiver. So I've already started reformulating in my book here, which, by the way, I was reading from. This is my book where I have my formula that I wrote down for everything here based on what I wanted to do. Make sure you take notes as you go. This is very important. As you add drops, as I told you before, and you kind of smell it on the paper strip, make note. Because if you want to add or subtract drops, all you have to do is go back to your notes, and you're not trying to remember what you did. It's very important to keep track of everything. Otherwise, you forget very easily. So write everything down, guys. Lesson I learned. And then what I've done is for my next reformulation, I just write to the right of my original reformulation how many drops that, so as you can see here, I did my original formula here, and then my next one I've already indicated what I want to do as far as drops. So it's very easy. Keep track of it. Stay scientific as much as possible. Don't be totally, flying by the seat of your pants. All right. After you had my 2 milliliters or 64, 65 drops of the oils, you then go to your perfumer's alcohol, and to make it really easy, I use a syringe. The syringe goes up to 10 milliliters. I needed to add 8. It's very easy. You just stick it in the bottle, pull it up, and you just go to 8 milliliters, which I did, and then boom, right into the bottle. Okay, that's simple, guys. That's simple. Then you shake it up, and this is where it macerates. What I did is I put it in yesterday. I finished this yesterday, and I smelled it after an hour of let it macerating. And again, that Vetiver was really coming on strong for me, a little bit too strong. As I mentioned, I'm going to have to reformulate. But now it is a day later, and this is going to be now my smell after essentially macerating for 24 hours. So this is a little bit of a, little bit of a test for me here. So you guys are going to see it on camera, my first test after at least a 24-hour maceration. Here we go. I gotta say, it's much better today. I'm getting the bergamot at the top, those top notes, because I did have a lot of bergamot. I'm getting a little bit of the apple. I'm getting a little bit of that basil. And definitely a lot of vetiver. It's still heavy vetiver. I do think I'm still going to have to reformulate, but this is much better today after macerating. So people say macerate from 1 hour to 24 hours to fine fragrances. A lot of times are macerated for months. I am going to let this macerate, by the way. This is my very first creation here. I don't have a name for it yet. Maybe you guys can help me name it. If you're so inclined, leave some comments down here and tell me what you think I should name my first fragrance, by the way. Here it is. It's in a green bottle. You can't really see it that well, but it's kind of the liquid is kind of brownish, which is, again, coming from that vetiver oil. I'm going to do a test right here, guys. Actually, I have a clean pipette, and I'm going to do, yes. So I'm going to do a test on the dropper here and see how it smells there. You know what? I don't know if that's clean. I know these are in here are clean, so I'm going to definitely, I don't want to contaminate. Okay. I'm going to give it a drop. Give it a couple drops. Let's see. It's already... So for me, my initial reaction, you're getting a first impression video now. It's almost kind of minty, which I was not going for, but this shows you when you mix materials, you don't know, for me this is coming across a little minty, very kind of like medicinal, fresh, like clean, medicinal, like, but very nice. This is something I think would be very, again, not too offensive for anybody. I do think it needs, the vetiver needs to be taken down. But it's got a nice punch. It's very fresh. It's kind of bright. And I can't wait to kind of try the formulation number 2 to see how it works when I pull down the vetiver on it. So there you have it, guys. And I spilled a little bit here, which these oils will like eat through plastic or wood if they're left sitting, so you want to make sure you wipe everything up. I will clean all this up. But I'm going to continue to let this macerate. Guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found this useful, fun. I hope you guys are trying it yourselves for any of you who are interested. And again, here's all my stuff. I think it's a really simple thing for anyone to get started. I bought all these materials. They all were, mailed here. It was very easy. It was very easy to do. I will link where I got the stuff down on my comments. Please, if you have any suggestions, anything you'd like to see me do, leave some comments. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment, share. I really appreciate it, guys. It helps me, motivates me to keep making more of these videos if you find them fun, useful, annoying, whatever. Yeah, I guess if you could, please leave some comments and tell me what you think would be a good name for my first fragrance. And I gave you all the materials that are in it. I will also list the materials on my in the comments section below. I will list everything there. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. This is my longest video ever, so I hope you stayed with me. And have a great day. This is Joel the Nose coming to you from Miami, and we'll talk to you.